So this season of Married at First Sight is for the dogs. Literally. There's so much dog stuff going on with these couples. All right, so welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
This is Conversations with the Crawleys. We do conversations about faith, family, relationships, and we do recaps, reviews, and commentary on some of our favorite shows. This one is all about Married at First Sight in Nashville. So if this is content that you enjoy, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe, hit the like, request notifications,
and share.
And we'll see you in the comments. Consider becoming a member and checking out the merch store. And what took you so long to get back here? We've been looking for y'all. All right. So let's talk about the first couple. We'll just kind of run them in order as kind of how they even appeared.
Okay.
Nicole and Chris.
Nicole and Chris.
So they are at his apartment with the dogs. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you got a new dog, mama.
It's like, meet your mama. I was like, didn't they already have a mama? I was just saying, I get it. A new addition to the family.
Yeah.
And obviously, as dogs are, well, most dogs, they're friendly. They'll come up to you.
Yes.
They weren't staying out. They weren't barking at her.
Right.
So, which is good signs.
Very good signs. One of the dogs is like very excited.
Mm-hmm. He don't seem trained.
He just hump anything and everything.
He don't seem trained. He was jumping up on counter. It looked like he let them run the house.
Well, yeah, because he does say that they sleep in the bed with him.
Yes.
Y'all, you've been around us long enough. If this is your first time, let's make it clear. We've got a dog. We got Prince, my dog.
Prince.
Love my dog. He not even allowed upstairs.
No.
Let alone in one of our bedrooms.
He sheds. And so downstairs we have no carpet. Mm-hmm. And so he can roam downstairs all he wants.
Yep.
But he can't come upstairs because we already drag half of his hair alone upstairs. I couldn't imagine him being up here and having hair.
Let alone in our bed. That don't work.
No.
We are not those people.
No, I will not sleep with my animal.
So later on, they do have like a dog date where, because remember, Nicole has a dog and Chris has two dogs.
And this is how you properly introduce dogs. In an open space, in a common area, give enough time to sniff each other and then find their own space, and they can come back like, hey, you good? We good?
Yep. And
kind of working that out. So it went well. The meeting did.
Yes.
And the same one, that the little humpy dog, he was like barking at first. Mm-hmm. He was a little, like, hey, I'm making my presence known. I'm the alpha male. And then when they went into the park, everyone seemed to be doing well.
They were good. So a little later, they do talk about the fact that both of their leases up. So Chris brings up the fact that, hey, both of our leases are up almost essentially when this whole process, the 8 weeks are done. What do we do about it?
Oh my gosh.
So he's like, I think what we should do is, because he's like, I've got to give 60-day notice. So I need to do that like tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You got a couple weeks where you can make that decision. He's like, so what I think we should do is you sign a 9-month lease at your place. I sign a 9-month lease at my place. And then that way we can try and find our space is going to be our forever space.
I don't agree with that. But what we kept thinking, only thing we could think of is the 2-dog rule. Since they have 3 dogs and they only can have 2 in a space at one time, that keeps them being separated.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe thinking about everyone breaking up on their lease, because this is all a leap of faith.
Right.
However,
you got Married at First Sight in a leap of faith.
Right. However you want to put that, whatever your religious background,
and y'all
they took a risk.
Y'all okay with each other's crazy anyway, so.
And they took a risk. So, but this is the thing. You can't say so far.
True.
You took a risk. And he's telling her, well, what if we have an argument 3 months after we say I do? Sounds like you're in a marriage. What do you mean?
Because if we broke up every time we had an argument.
Yeah, it'd have been over and started. It's a lot of waste of money.
Yes.
And so if we're saying, look, we're doing good now. Okay, let's take a leap of faith. We both we're not going to renew our lease. We're going to make this work, because it's just another way saying I'm going to be committed to you.
Right.
And guess what? If it doesn't work and you wanted to start over, some people end up leaving when they get divorces. They go other states. This is a great opportunity for you to make a new move and do something different.
Yep.
But she didn't want to do it.
Right.
And I was surprised that she decided, yeah, I'm going to do it. I don't want to rock the boat. It's like, this is not how you start a marriage.
You're surprised by it. I'm not surprised. And here's why I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I know.
I think that, again, I think she is hiding and sending her representatives, if you will, and doing the things that she thinks is going to keep him. That's why, again, she keeps asking, do you love me?
Every day.
Keeps asking every day. Would you say yes if the decision day was today? So she's doing all of these things because she's insecure about the relationship. So therefore, she's going to do the things that she thinks are necessary to maintain the relationship.
And that's not how you build and start a relationship.
That's not how you live life.
No, but at the very minimum, until you get tired of your representative, because sooner or later in a marriage,
your representative gonna go away.
You're gonna get tired.
You're gonna forget your representative in the heat of a moment.
Right.
So you gonna forget that representative.
A representative be like, I'm no longer representing so and so. They're representing themselves.
Okay. So Pastor Cal shows up.
Yes.
As he's doing for all the couples this week. They again talk about the issue of the lease. Pastor Cal's like, look, kind of like what we said, right. Don't do that.
Don't be separate. Don't be in separate places.
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work.
You can't build that way.
You can't build out.
But then he does ask, because again, the question comes up as to why she keeps asking every day about decision day. And she's like, and he brings up a great point. He's like, look, you keep asking that. And yes, everything's going great right now. But what happens the day that something's not going great? How does that then make you feel about your relationship? Are you now thinking that your relationship's done because one day y'all had an argument? He's like, I ain't sure if I want to be married to you today.
Or marry or say yes on decision day.
Right.
And he said, Dr. Cal says, it'll spiral out of control if you decide to every day check in concerning decision day.
And this is where her crazy comes out.
And she says, I don't give a F. I'm going to do it every day. Hold that thought. Because you're going to have these receipts come back to you. Because when you're not having a good day, that's the same thing saying, do you still love me? Do you still love me? Do you still love me?
Because if every day, because here's the thing. Yeah, he could say, when we've talked about this before, decision day on this show is really just a matter of, are you going to continue on in the marriage? Because every day in a marriage is decision day.
Every day in a marriage.
Every day. So if that's the case, then keep that same energy at year 3. At year 3, at day 3,492, are you going to keep asking, would you say yes tomorrow? So it's going to bite her in the butt. And then what's going to happen, she's going to be resentful. I mean, I'm keeping my place and, my dog's not here. So it's building. Yep. So first her dog, who she loves as her child as well. Yep.
You making me stay in my place for another 9 months. So it's just building. And then all these things build. You giving. And then the moment he says he can't make a decision on this decision, that somebody's going to brush over the tire. It's going to push over.
Yep.
And we're going to see it all tumble down.
Yep. Now, they have been intimate. So they have at least...
They consummated their marriage. Which, again, is just stacking. Because that's another added element. Yes. I've given myself to you.
Yes.
I've been vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
See how well you do with that.
We'll see.
All right.
So that was pretty much it for them. Their meeting with Cal. Pastor Cal wasn't that eventful. There was nothing major.
Pastor Cal felt like y'all look good together.
They're going in the right direction.
You're going in the right direction. If you listen to what I say, you'll keep in the right direction.
Right. Next is Dominique and Mackinley.
Ooh, boy.
So remember last episode, they went to his basement apartment, right? Because remember, he's staying with family friends. Now, this is something that some of y'all have mentioned, and we've kind of seen as far as maybe a rumor, a thought. Mm-hmm. Let us know what your thoughts are, but it seems as if kind of the rumor or the thought is that Mackinley has been going from city to city trying to be on Married at First Sight because, again, just him up and choosing to move to Memphis, just saying he wanted to try something different, but he left all of his stuff there. Just something to think about.
Left his stuff in another
state where he's from. Because there's also, I think, something that he's mentioned as far as him having been in California a bit too. And you remember the previous season was in San Diego. So just things that we're looking at and saying, is he just trying to be on the show? But needless to say, they go to her apartment now.
Well, we have to mention that she wasn't feeling the whole
at all
room, not having his own place,
not even having his own pictures up on the wall.
None of that. So he's feeling that energy. He's feeling judged.
Yes.
And so now he's taking on the feelings of she thinks I'm a deadbeat. I don't have a place to live and everything. So when they get to her spot, he's like, what is there to see? Oh, she better than me because she got an apartment.
She got a bathroom. She got a door. She got a closet.
Right.
I don't nobody care.
Like, why? Like she trying to up me. It is up from what you have. I mean,
kind of an upgrade.
It's an upgrade, but...
She's saying, let me upgrade you.
Because she asked her, could you see yourself living here? Since she was not like you got a place to go back to. If we say yes on the decision
because I ain't moving into the basement. If I want to be in the basement, I can go to my mama's house and stay in her basement.
And see, what I feel is like people get in their own way. Now, maybe you feel that way about yourself. You haven't settled.
Right.
So you're putting all these feelings of unsettled, you're trying to date and women thinking you're in the basement of somebody else's house. Why are you not rooted somewhere? Mm-hmm. This would be a great opportunity to sit her down saying, everything you're saying, I understand. I understand your point of view. And I haven't because maybe I want to build that with someone else.
Right.
And that could be you. I think any woman who has a man who's thoughtful and will plan things out will hear you out and willing to come along with the ride if you got a plan.
Yeah.
But when you don't say anything other than, I've been here for 6 to 9 months, just living, just working and living, like you're not thinking about the next steps, you're not thinking. But if you're saying the whole point in mind when I got on Married for Sight is that I want me and my wife to decide where we're gonna live together. Yes. I have money stacked up, boo, for a house. I just want to know where you want to buy.
Right.
Now, if you start saying those are like lullaby songs, right?
Right.
So, but he's not giving her that type of energy.
Exactly.
He's giving those deadbeat energy.
And she even talks about how kind of what we're seeing from Mackinley on the after party. She talks about how what we're seeing from Mackinley, there's a lot more where he's being very negative, where he's being very.
I didn't get what I wanted.
He didn't get what he wanted.
As far as the person.
So that also kind of flavors some of what we're seeing even from Dominique. Mm-hmm. Now I understand I'm not the biggest fan of Dominique. I think that she is very immature and still in some respect.
I think very immature.
Not very, but she is immature. Mm-hmm. I think she is immature.
Or naive.
That's an even better word for
it.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not sold on Dominique, but I'm also not letting Mackinley off the hook either. I think both of them are having a part to play in their issues.
Yeah, because they're doing tit for tat.
Yes.
They're just being. I'm gonna be petty.
Petty.
I'm gonna be petty.
Petty. Petty. So.
Because all of a sudden, I don't remember hearing about his dog.
There you go.
Now he said on the honeymoon that he talked to her about his dogs, and his dogs is still not with him. But in the state before this is where he left his dogs.
But now, again, let's compare that with Chris, who had a breakdown last week. Brumman is boo-hoo-hooing because he finds out that both of his dogs, theoretically couldn't live with them.
They're still in the same state.
But they're still in the same state. He just saw them a week ago before he went on the honeymoon. Mackinley,
bro,
we bringing up a dog
that's in another state.
For us, it's out of the blue.
And you haven't seen them in I don't know if you how far when you go back to see them, but last 6 or 9.
Are you FaceTiming your dog, and that's how you see your dogs?
Some people probably do. I know we laugh, but I know somebody right now FaceTiming their dog. They're on vacation.
Hey, Puffy.
Hey,
Puffy.
You see me? You see me?
You're such a good boy.
You're such a good boy. Come here. Come here. Lick the screen. Lick the screen. I love you. I see it right now. So she like, are you really trying to pick? To me, I felt like he was picking a fight.
I think he was bringing up something that, and I agree with Dominique. This didn't seem like an issue. This is the first time that I can remember anything about a dog. And let us know if we missed it, if we just overlooked it. Because it didn't seem like that big of an issue. We knew for Chris and Nicole, we knew dogs were huge parts of their lives.
They showed pictures with their dog.
We know Jasmine got like 192 dogs.
Shut up, she's 101 Dalmatian.
So we know that.
So this dude, he didn't pull up a picture.
Because he said
no.
Go ahead.
He said, you didn't even ask to see a picture of my dog. Now, did you bring a picture out when you were giving your intro about being on the show, and when you were featured on the show, did you bring a picture out of your dog?
Dominique said, it's so important that you didn't bring your dog down. If it's that important.
In 9 months or 6 months that you've been here, you didn't even if you people have their all levels of how they love their pet.
Right.
So if you love your pet, like, I'm not going to stay here long for them. I'm gonna settle down for them and give me a spot so I can have my pets with me.
Right.
My daughter came and got her dog. Right. And drove.
As soon as she graduated, she got her place settled. Dog. She drove down here. She got Bugatti, her dog, took him back up with her, and her and Bugatti, and even now the cat that she got, they are living great.
Living his best life.
Because even when she was at school and the dog was still here with us, mm-hmm. when she would call, she would ask, hey, let me see my dog. So she would she actually would try and FaceTime the dog.
I don't think we did FaceTime. It was more like
we did show videos and stuff like that. We did conferencing.
Like, we didn't kill your dog. Your dog good.
Your dog's still alive. He good.
He good. He
eating. He out in the backyard right now.
Right.
So
chill out. Your dog's gonna be
okay. Cute.
So
because she would ask stuff like that. She's like, is my dog okay?
Right.
Yes, your dog's
I raised you. I'm gonna let your dog live. My God. So she's like, we really are. This is what we're gonna be on. This dog.
So then a little later, when they're in the apartment, she says she doesn't want to have any petty arguments, and he's like, well, my dogs aren't petty.
Oh, you gotta say. I was like, I've been like, all right, bro, we good.
You got it. You good.
Matter of fact, because of that, I'm not moving in.
Yeah.
I'm not moving in. And the producer, now also you see a producer like, whoa.
Wait, so you...
Hold on. All that footage...
Are you going to drag all your stuff back down to your car?
Right. All that footage we took at your place, who paid for that? Who's paying for that footage in that time? Because you done put all that stuff over here. Now we're going to have to get footage of you taking all that stuff downstairs.
It's probably also like, look, McKinley helped you bring it up, but are you going to take it all down? Because... that's not what these grips are for. That's not what these cameramen are for. They not helping you take that stuff down. So you about to roll that big suitcase back down? Go for it. But yeah, she's not moving in. They do get into a kind of a discussion because he is pushing back also like, look, I know that I'm not your cup of tea right now because you wanted somebody that wants to like to do everything that you do. He's like, but I feel like I've been compromising. I've been more willing to not criticize you, but all you do is seem to criticize me. So he's like, I'm gonna push back. I'm gonna criticize you now and say you didn't care about my dog. It's all about you and what have you. So they kind of get into this little skirmish, if you will.
This little tit to tat. Just telling you.
So
he was like, I can go there too.
So then, basically, Pastor Cal comes through. And he comes in and he's like, I sense something in the air. His prophetic spidey sense is like, something's going on in here because you look like you ready for a fight.
He's like, now I'm a referee. I'm no longer pastor. Ding, ding. Round one. Let's go. What's up?
So basically, they start saying initially kind of what their things are as far as the dog, as far as some other things. And he's like, look, all of those things can be compromised. And then it's like, well, I didn't get what I wanted in a partner. And Pastor Kyle's like, oh, really? What did you want? Because remember, you talk with me. It wasn't like you talk with me. You talk with our producers. I saw what you put on your questionnaire about what you wanted. So what didn't you get? And so for her, she says, what does she say? She says that that he doesn't take risks. That she wanted someone that was that she didn't get outgoing. She didn't get someone that was positive. She didn't get someone that was adventurous. And he's like, well, I do take risks. I move from one city to the next, and I ain't got a place to stay. That's kind of risky.
That's kind of risky. You could be homeless any moment. If a family don't like you, they have all the rights to put you out. So that is a bad
If you ain't been there for 30 days, right, they can evict you easily. Sheriff, come pick him up right now.
Sheriff department. Listen. I don't know why it's the sheriff that come and get you, but it's the sheriff.
Listen.
It's the sheriff.
So
in Memphis, it's the sheriff.
Yup. So he says that he wanted someone that was extroverted but not adventurous. Which I get what he's saying. He's like, you don't have to jump off a cliff, but somebody that's outgoing. Get that.
Okay, but what level of that? Because
right.
It's like you can't measure it. Like, how are they supposed to measure? Like, how outgoing are we talking about? She's
not as extroverted, but she definitely is way 145% on the adventurous scale.
And what, adventurous? Riding a horse is adventurous? Like, she's not saying come and jump out of a plane with me.
She ain't saying let's go do the Kentucky Derby on horses.
She ain't saying even
let's
like
go around the
running with the bull. Right, running. She ain't doing running with the bull in Spain. So, and he was like, so were you truthful? What you wanted?
It's like, because we gave you what you wanted. So who lied?
So who's lying?
Both y'all lying? One of y'all lying? Somebody lied up in this.
Somebody lied on that app.
So he does say, Mackinley says he felt judged by the basement, right? And Dominique says, well, it would have been better if he had 4 roommates. Baby girl, let me help you. He basically got 4 roommates.
Mom, dad. If the sister, his best friend lived there, there's 3 people right there. If someone come over to stay tonight, he might got 5 or 6 roommates.
She's like, because he'd have his own space. He does have his own space in the basement.
Right.
So,
and he said, and I got 2 rooms in the bathroom downstairs in the basement. Right. Now, come on, y'all. Anybody who ever lived in the basement, you glad to even there be a room and a full bath downstairs.
Sometimes you got to run upstairs.
Right?
Yeah.
So he was living kind of large for the basement. For all them basement lovers. I mean, he said he had 2 rooms and it was a full. And it was and it had a living room. Yeah. You remember there was a couch and a TV?
Yeah. So
it was like a full apartment going there. He had a little basement apartment. He just didn't have his own apartment number to get his own mail. Right. He could set up a
1405A.
Right.
Or 1405 and a half.
Right. Trust me, there'd be a lot of people who would pay to live in the basement now.
We have a friend who they have an apartment. It's a tiny apartment. Mm-hmm. It's a little, not even a mother-in-law. It's a mother type of apartment.
Okay.
But
she paying rent.
Right?
She go across, just come around the side door.
So.
And paying that California rent.
Pastor Kyle is like, okay, so what are we doing? Because.
What are we doing?
Y'all.
Are we divorced today? Making decision day today?
So, what's her name? Dominique says, well, she's over it. He's like, okay, when you say we over it, you over this conversation, you over that wine you're drinking,
you over the marriage,
you over the fish in the fridge. What are you over? Are you over this relationship? And that's where it ends for them.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other things from the after party we find out is that before Pastor Cal came in, Mackinley evidently was having like a 5-10 minute rant about how he didn't get what he wanted and what have you. So Dominique has basically said on the after party that Mackinley is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. He's one way, or at least portrayed one way on camera, and a different way behind the scenes. So I think it may be more evident or more indicative with him. I think that we always will see different things behind the scenes versus what's portrayed. But my prediction is that they're done.
Yeah, I think next episode she might, especially if he keeps saying he's not getting what he's want. Because if you're not getting what you want, then there's no need for me to still be here.
Because now I think he wants Gina.
He may want a Gina type, but I don't think he can't handle what he has, let alone a Gina. You know what I'm saying?
I think he wants Gina.
I don't think he wants Gina.
I think Dominique is going, because we've talked about how there's this clip floating around.
Supposedly there's this clip.
Where but Dominique and Clint kiss. So we'll see where that comes in. But I think that we're seeing the rumblings of that even now. So that's my thoughts. All right. So speaking of, let's talk about Gina and Clint. He comes to her apartment, which, remember, they stayed in the same apartment complex anyway. Building. Yeah, the same tower or whatever. So all he had to do was press the elevator button and go up or down to her floor. He might have been down the hall for all we know. And come check out her apartment. She talks about how she's nervous about moving in.
I'm nervous about moving in. So the best way to resolve that is not to move in. And the best way for us to get close is not to be in close quarters.
To be close. The best way for us to stay married is to not stay married.
It's not to stay married. So, I'm like, what? So Clint sounded like the responsible one here. I applaud him in this moment. He's on the redemption road right now, saying, listen, I want to make a good effort.
Yep.
I want to get to know you. I think it's best for us to move into the same apartment and working on getting to know each other. And then we can kind of work things out from there. Yeah. But
because he's like, you can take that bedroom, I'll take this bedroom. We were just sharing the same bed 48 hours ago in Jamaica. What's the difference between now? I recognize maybe you don't want to stay in the same bed with me right now.
Correct.
Cool. We can at least stay in the same living space as we're working on, if we're going to work on this marriage.
And she still keeps making this excuse of not feeling comfortable. Because I would stop her. I said, because what he wasn't addressing is what? Tell me what makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
Is it me personally? Am I in your personal space? Do you feel like I'm doing something to you where I'm making you uncomfortable?
Yep.
You need to define to me uncomfortable.
Because I can't improve your comfort level if I don't know what is making you uncomfortable.
Thank you.
So something that I said and I apologize for, again, we have again pointed out that both of them were wrong in some of the things that they said about each other. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have had times where we said things, it was like, you know what, I have to take that back. I said something that I probably shouldn't have said.
Right. And obviously can't take back, right?
Right.
You hurt feelings. Only thing you do is apologize.
And
which she said that he apologized to her.
Yep.
And she accepted the apology.
Yep. So did she really accept it?
Did you accept it or not? Because once you accept it, then the anticipation or the expectation is that, oh, now we're going to move on from that.
Yes.
And you get to know the real me, because that's not what I was trying to relay to you when I indicated my preference, because you were very pointed in indicating your preference.
Yep.
And you want to make me feel like I don't have to have any feelings about how you were talking about my hair color or how I look and how you don't like me, but then the way I said how I like a certain preference, you have a problem with.
Yep.
And so that's the only thing I felt Clint could have done different, is that what exactly doesn't make you feel comfortable?
Yep.
You know, so that kind of ends that scene.
So then Pastor Cal comes through. And of course, because they kind of get the clues as to what's going on with the couples, he jumps in with the, hey, where are things at? What's gone wrong? And she brings up again the comments. she said that she was picking out when it comes to her saying things about how she viewed him, or because Pastor Cal was like, hey, at the wedding, you seem to be okay with it. And she's like, yeah, I like his beard. I like this. I like that. So she was like, she had focused on picking out the things that she found that are attractive about him before she began to pick apart the things that she wasn't attracted to. And again, he talks about the slender comment. She makes some statement that is like, her statement was an observation. His statement was an accusation. Did I have that right? Is that kind of what she said?
Right, because she keeps saying her statement is from her profession.
Right.
Well, your profession, you'll mention this is the color of your hair, ginger, and these are the things you would do to someone who have that type of hair. But when you specifically tell me I dislike, I do not date
people with gingery features.
Or you feel that because of these features, there's some type of way, and that's the reason why I don't date them. That goes beyond your profession that you're referring to. You're referring to the person in front of you, saying, I don't really care for your type. That's
essentially what's happening.
So why couldn't he take what she says the same way?
Yeah.
But you want to keep it, well, that's what I do professionally, and that's what we say. Yeah, because when you're talking about my hair, why would I be offended? Because that is the actual color of my hair. Now, if you tell me you don't want to do my hair,
that's
because
a whole other issue.
But you could say, oh, ginger people, I just don't do their hair.
Yeah.
Would someone in your chair have a problem? They would have a problem with you.
Yeah.
Because it's about you and the hair color that you don't do. You don't do that ginger man.
So basically, Pastor Cal is like, look, y'all are derailing. Y'all are destroying what could be a good thing. And then she brings up about her not moving in, or Cal asks about it. She tells why she's not moving in. Pastor Cal is like, I hear you, but you ain't making no sense. Because how y'all going to work on your relationship and y'all not, who you going to work with?
If you ain't working
How
together.
you going to fix something if y'all ain't fixing it together? And she's like, but I just don't feel well. I don't feel right about it. I hear what you're saying. He's like, okay, I hear what you're saying.
So do you want to end it? Do you want to end the marriage? Because that's what you're saying.
Right.
Because he said only in extreme circumstances, and when there's a severe issue where, and I feel like what he's saying is that if someone could be physically
right, and we've seen
physical.
There have been couples, not where there may have been a physical, but they had such a more of a vibrant disconnect, if I can put it that way. There was such a disconnect that it was like, I can see why y'all not wanting to move together. For example, Chris and Basic Girl from
No. She made a decision she wasn't going to move in.
Right, but I'm saying though that's a situation where it's like, I can see y'all not moving in together, right? Because she was Basic Girl. If y'all don't know who Basic Girl is, go back and look at some of the previous. What was it? Last season or season before last?
Season before last.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this. She says she didn't like him, but they stayed in the same hotel room. Or no, they even stayed in a separate hotel room.
Yeah, because
she said, because this is the word she said. She felt unsafe.
That's right.
Now, when you start saying the word unsafe, that could be a liability.
Right.
But because we think that she was talking to lawyers.
Yeah.
So in that case, that's why they didn't allow them to stay together, because it's unsafe. Because when it is truly unsafe, then yes, we're not going to put you in the same setting.
Nothing with Gina or Clint has been unsafe.
No.
It's really just, it's really a question of, did she really forgive him or not? Is she really wanting to move forward and work on the marriage, or is she just basically just
bailing out?
Right.
Let's just call it what it is. And if you want to bail out, like, I don't want to work on this no matter if I got a marriage license, I said it in front of 500 million people, I don't care. I just don't like you because you got ginger features and I don't want to be with you, then fine.
Yep.
And you don't have to see none of his ginger features anymore. And you can move on and do something else. That's fine.
Yeah.
But don't say, I don't feel comfortable not telling us or telling him what it is when he's saying, I really want to work on this. You know, we made this commitment together. We said we're going to work through. It's funny. we could go up to an aisle and say, we'll work through anything.
Mm-hmm. And then when it comes time to actually work through something, you're not willing to. Because Pastor Cal basically says, if you're not willing to change, you're not ready to be married. Because, listen, that doesn't mean you become a different, you change who you are. But it does mean that you are willing to make some changes or some adjustments, because now you are part of something that is more than just yourself.
Right, because it's not about you. And I know Pastor Cal either said to them, or I think he said it to Dom and Mackenzie. It's no longer about you anymore.
Yeah.
It's not about you being selfish anymore and thinking you're going to get in marriage and you're going to get all your way all the time.
Don't work that way.
It don't work that way.
Nope. All right, so that's pretty much them. Yeah. I think they'll continue on for a few weeks, but I don't have good hopes for them staying married after this process.
Even if they make it through the process.
True. So Jasmine and Airris. So he goes to her apartment, because remember, she went to his apartment last time, saw his room where no women evidently are allowed. He made a big thing about taking off shoes.
He was living in a house.
Yeah. Taking off those shoes. Yes, he was out. Yeah. He goes to her apartment and he sees all of her trophies, all of her banners and everything that she won from all of her her pageant and pageant awards. Then he gets to meet all the dogs.
He like, where are the dogs? Because she don't have them running around.
Because, yeah, he's kind of, it's like he's almost expecting like he's going to walk in and just all 101 Dalmatians are just going to run and jump on him.
And then when he sees it, he was like, oh, I can do this. Okay, they're tiny. I like them.
Yeah, because they're mini golden doodles.
Right, because he's like, I got traumatized because a paw hit the middle of my forehead when I was 2.5 and I had a scar. I'm like,
bruh, you okay?
It was just trying to say hi.
Yeah. So Pastor Cal comes over. Now, something that we noticed, because remember, Airris had made a big thing of when your peoples come over, tell them to take their shoes off. So we're looking at it, just noticing, well, Jasmine has like some sneaker socks on, some cozy socks on, right? Airris got on gym shoes. He got on some Jordan 1s. And Pastor Cal got on his shoes.
And trust me, there has been some occasions people like, Pastor Cal, can you take your shoes off? Or Dr. Pepper, can you remove our shoes?
So it's like you made one of your executive decisions that you went back on when the camera started rolling and Pastor Cal walked in.
We remember that.
Keep that same energy.
We remember that. You know, but he's asking them, how's it going? Where are you at? And now we know he must have had a conversation with Jasmine, because she doesn't sound surprised when he says, you know, she was really into me on the honeymoon, and I was not into her like that.
Because she's like, I want him to have the idea to just take her clothes off and just jump on her. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I ain't there. And Pastor Cal's like, okay, is she attractive? He's like, yeah, she's attractive, but I'm not he's basically like, I'm not attracted to her. She's not my type. And he's talking about how he feels guilty that she has this huge attraction to him, but he's not reciprocating. So Pastor Cal was like, okay, he's trying to figure out how much of your feelings have to do with this process, right? Is it that maybe you're feeling like expectations are on you because of the process, and maybe that's causing you to have some pullback? Because you talked up a great game leading up. You was going to blow backs out and everything.
All that sexual energy has gone out the window.
What positions and stuff, and then all of a sudden now you day 3 and you can't, you not feeling it? What's up with that?
You know, and he was like, maybe you're right, because he's like, is it the process? Is it the 10,000 cameras that's on you and the lights? Right. You know, and the mic we can't see that's right ahead of us. And he's like, yeah, it is. Yeah. It could be a lot. I'm overwhelmed. Yeah. And he's like, you need to relax. Do what's natural to you. It's going to come natural.
Because he's like, you know, he's got his hand on her thigh and he's like, it feels natural. Those are the things. Pastor Cal even asked them, okay, what are the things that you like? He asked Jasmine first, tell what the things you like about Airris. And she kind of lists the things that she likes about him. And then he asked Airris to do the same. And Airris mentions a lot of great qualities about Jasmine. And Pastor Cal is like, look, it sounds as if you guys are meshing. Mm-hmm. You're getting there. Mm-hmm. You just got to get out of your head and just let this thing happen naturally. Right. And don't worry about what's happening with the cameras, because the cameras are only here part of the day. Mm-hmm. You all have all this other time to really build and grow.
Right.
So
I hope he gets out of his way.
Yeah.
You know, because like he says, he's like, and I think it's also him thinking what a husband should be.
Right.
So when we overthink, well, a husband does this, and husband, instead of just saying, naturally, I'm just going to work through what I think she needs.
Yes.
I want to work on what she wants to see me to show and shine. And then along with it, some of the things I think I want to bring to the table as a husband. Because he mentions, like, when I was single, I've been on and popping, you know, but now I'm married and I didn't utilize all those spaces in Jamaica I would have had her hanging from, you know. I'm like, that's your lost opportunity.
Your issue, bro.
That was your lost opportunity.
You missed out.
Because she was ready to swing. So, I mean, based off of what she was saying. Based what she was saying.
She was down.
She was down.
I want to be down with what you going through.
So.
Right?
She
was down.
She was down. But hey, now you're going to have to wait and come up with some other things. But at the same time, just relax, chill. She's ready. She's ready and she's willing to wait.
Yeah.
So, and I think she sees the value in him. So she's like, okay, I'm going to play it out. Because she keeps saying over, man, I just don't want to fall for this dude. Because he's bringing the right energy.
And again, because part of her concern is that he says he's never fallen in love before. So she's like, essentially what I think she's saying is she can feel herself falling for him, but she's trying to use that parachute and not fall as hard for him as she could because she needs something from him to say it's okay.
It's going to be okay. I'm going to be here.
And he does say that he does get why they matched. So it's like, bro, you have an opportunity here. You have something that could be a good thing. You just got to get out of your own way.
Just get out of your own way. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a good potential for them. They're not really beefing or having a big issue. I think it's just they're starting to maneuver in their space and see what can happen. And again,
I think you made a good point. I think he does. It sounds as if he at least had the conversation with her because she wasn't surprised about his lack of attraction towards her. Right. So at least we can applaud Airris. Say what you will about Airris, but we can at least applaud that it looks like he's at least being honest in front of and outside of the cameras. So
yeah, because they were betraying like he wasn't.
Right.
And maybe he wasn't initially having that conversation because, again, she says he is being honest with me even when I don't want to hear it. And trust me, they would have pulled her to the side if that was a shot.
Yeah, because again, Kirsten probably could have hipped her to something, but it doesn't look like she even had to.
Right.
So
because when you let things happen naturally and let people relationship alone, they can figure it out.
They will work through it themselves
instead of being messy.
So all right, so Kirsten and Shaquille. So evidently, on the cutting room floor, they went to visit his place.
Right.
Because she's immediately saying her place is going to be different from his place. We're like, wait, they didn't show his place.
Did we miss it? Did I turn around and... So I don't know what happened there. Maybe because they spent so much time on Dominique and her taking her stuff back downstairs.
Right. They were like,
we don't got time.
Cut that part. Listen, we'll just do a couple of snippets here.
Because this episode got to end.
Go around with your iPhone 14 and film it yourself, and then that way we can go ahead and use that footage. All right. But they go to Kirsten's apartment, right?
She's a minimalist.
Let me know. She says she's a minimalist.
Well, she said it was COVID. And I believe this because I watched some other reality interior design. And if she was getting her furniture from Italy or from any like European countries, it wasn't going to make it in. So
I'm glad you have that opinion of her. This is my opinion. I don't think that's her place. I think it's either an Airbnb or a place, because remember, she's a real estate agent. is it possible that it's one of the apartments that she's supposed to be showing? Because it looked very staged, and it looks like stuff was just kind of thrown in there. Because even he's like, well, how you charge your phone? Where is stuff? Where's just life stuff?
Don't be putting it. You saw all her clothes in the closet.
Were those her clothes, or were those the clothes that were left by the previous tenant? Because he's like, the stuff don't match. Whoever staged this, they didn't stage it right, because the stuff it's no flow to it.
If it was a real staging company, it would flow, and there would be more furniture.
It depends on what her budget would be for staging the property.
That would be up to
We don't watch enough real estate shows to know.
I know.
Staging costs.
Staging does cost, and they don't minimize that. They're not going to give you that.
I don't think it was her place.
It was her place.
You could say that, but I don't think so.
We've lived places where it wasn't as important to us to put decor in.
But we had a couch.
There was a couch in there.
Was there?
Yes. They just didn't show it. There was a couch in there. She had a bed, because she only had a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
He had a couch. He's like, you had no stools. But even the way it's set up, it wouldn't even work for stool. It wasn't made for stools to be on the end of that countertop. Mm-hmm. So she's like, yeah, this is it. And he's like, you didn't even hang this right. He's telling her that she didn't hang clothes right. He's like, okay, let's go. Let's just take what you're taking.
Because if she did, she had her cousins come by and bring the stuff over. Look, I'm not going to take him to my real apartment because I don't trust him and his bald head yet. So therefore, go ahead and take some clothes. The lockbox key code is go ahead and move some stuff in there. Just put some clothes in there for me. Just throw my shoes on the floor there. Anyway.
So they meet with Pastor Cow.
Yes.
Because they're moving to their new place.
Yes.
And, they're sitting and talking like, how's it going?
And she does say it feels natural.
She says it feels natural. She's like, everything's feeling natural. We're getting along and everything. And
then she says something about he over communicates. He's like, you hear that? Because he said, you hear what she said. He's like, Cal, you going to let that one slide?
Because typically men don't over communicate. That's typically. I'm saying typically. Don't over communicate.
It's facts.
And so, that's why I feel like he pointed that out and everything. And then they talked about the little,
the tiff.
The tiff that they had about him, joking and playing too much and stuff. And he was like, you don't have to get over it. Because my wife had to get over me being corny, And so I hear both sides.
My jokes are good. I got the good jokes.
I hear both sides. Because sometimes you need to be serious. And sometimes you got to tell your partner, no, I need you to be serious right now. I'm not playing. So it's just having that balance. And when, most of the time I'm going to be silly and funny. But when I need you to be serious, you got to be serious.
You got to be serious. So, Pascal's like, okay, where's the chemistry? She's like, there is no chemistry.
Right. And then he goes, well, Shaquille,
we got some chemistry.
I feel like we do got some chemistry.
You be laying on my chest.
You laying on my chest, girl. What is that?
I give you a kiss on the forehead because that's the only place you're going to let me kiss you. But there's at least something. We at least on the periodic table. We at least
we're in the lab. I was about to say, we're in the lab.
Right.
We don't got stuff boiling over, but we at least turned on the little heater.
Right.
We got a little heat going here. Something. Like, come on. And talking about how she's not easy to open up to people. And, the pastor, we're going to call him doctor. I guess he got to get a degree. That Pastor Cal is just really like, you know what? You need to open up. Let him in.
And she recognizes again, because one of the things that she says almost weekly that we hear is that she recognizes that she's got to open up and that she's got to be more intentional. What I don't want for Kirsten is for her to get to the end of the 8 weeks and still be saying, I need to open up and I need to be vulnerable and I need to be intentional. Because at that point, it's becoming too late. Because you have the opportunity to open up, to be intentional. So stop recognizing that that's something you need to do and just start doing it.
Yeah, and I think hopefully when they have the housewarming. And some of her family comes over and say, girl, you don't want to let this one go. You don't want to be thinking when if you marry somebody else that could have been you.
Yep.
So, and help her get out of her way a little bit.
Yes.
And realize that this is someone you can be safe with.
Right.
Right? Because if she's been hurt in the past or things haven't worked out, you don't want to be let down or your expectations. And if you're saying that, you know, God has it, then allow him to have it and open up.
Yep.
You know, so, because even Pastor Cal was like, look, you're the power couple.
Yeah.
You got everything going right for you.
Mm-hmm.
This could work.
Yep.
If you allow this to do what it do.
Going in the right direction as far as career and everything. You guys have the opportunity to do something that some couples just don't have the opportunity to. Because even Shaq is like, he's been very vulnerable and very open. And he makes an interesting statement. He says that even when he asks questions of Kirsten to try and get her to open up, she will pivot away from herself, and then she'll put it back to Shaq as far as digging into him. And it's like, look, you gotta let that guard down. You gotta break that down. So. And
I wonder in her past if she had to always, you know, be there for others,
right? And
no one's ever been there for her.
Or she's let the guard down before and she's been hurt too many times.
Yeah,
it's possible.
So,
but that was pretty much it for them. I think that's pretty much it for this one. It looks like next week is the housewarming episode where everybody throws housewarming parties. But I have a sneaking suspicion that will also be the last week for Dominique and Mackinley, just because the statement that Nicole makes of "you're going to regret this," I think that was directed at Dominique. That's my thing. That's my thought. So we'll see. Let us know what we missed. Let us know your thoughts. And of course, we'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bye.